I'm sure you've noticed this. When you really, really like a guy, that's when everything falls apart. Because the more you like him, the more likely it is to just blow up in your face. But when you don't like a guy, things go pretty well. Sometimes it feels like the less you like him, the more he likes you. So why? Some people say it's because guys like the chase. When you display too much interest in a guy, he thinks you're easy. And when you don't display much interest in him, he sees you as a prize. However, they'd be wrong. Hi, I'm Amy Waterman. I am a love expert here at yourbrilliance.com. And each week you can find me here answering your questions about life and love. So make sure that you don't miss a single video by clicking that subscribe button. Now, in this video, I will be sharing the real reason that liking a guy too much shoots you in the foot and what you should be doing instead. There's one group of guys who actually prefer aloof, disinterested women, and that is players, right? Because players think they can get any woman they want, and so they like a challenge. But I don't want you to end up with a player. I want you to meet a great guy who loves you for who you are and actually wants to make a future with you. And great guys think a little differently. Great guys are looking for a few key traits in the women they meet. They want to meet someone who's authentic. So she's the same person with him as she is with everyone else. She's not out to try to impress him. And if he doesn't like her just the way she is, she's moving on because there are plenty more fish in the sea. Great guys also want to meet somebody who makes it easy for them. So yeah, great guys are the exact opposite of players. While players tend to prefer women who pose a challenge, great guys gravitate towards friendly women who give them plenty of green lights. Smiling, making eye contact, and being the first to say hello, actually invite him to approach you. Because great guys could be shy. And if a woman isn't welcoming, they won't bother her. They'll just seek out the company of somebody friendlier. Finally, great guys just want things to be simple. So no games, no pretense, and no pressure. And if things get too complicated, they're out. Now, sometimes we women can make things more complicated than they need to be. Instead of taking a man at his word, we read all sorts of hidden meaning into his messages. Like he says that he's got to spend a weekend catching up at work, and we think he's trying to avoid us. Taking everything he does personally will kill even the most promising relationship because most of what he does has absolutely nothing to do with you. Remember that men tend to compartmentalize relationships. So when he's thinking about you, he will be texting you or wanting to see you. But most of the time, he's actually not thinking about you at all. He's thinking about other things. Now, that doesn't mean he doesn't care about you. It's just how his male mind works. So don't make everything about your relationship and have a little faith. Trust that he is telling you the truth to the best of his ability. Now, here's one more advantage to taking what a guy says at face value. It shows him that you trust him. Great guys don't want to be with somebody who's constantly second guessing them because it's too stressful. It forces them to constantly think about how she will take everything they say and do. When you're with somebody who makes everything about them, it's just not fun. Okay, so now you know that great guys are looking for somebody who's authentic, who makes it easy for them, and who doesn't complicate things. Let's look at what happens when you like a guy too much. So when you like a guy too much, you start acting a little weird because it's hard to be yourself around somebody that you think is completely amazing. You end up feeling self-conscious and awkward, and all of your confidence disappears because you're putting him up on this pedestal where you are grateful for even the slightest scrap of his attention. And he can tell. Your awkwardness ends up making him feel awkward because he knows he doesn't belong on a pedestal. He doesn't want to be treated as special. He's just an ordinary guy looking for an ordinary girl who's on his level. So here's a trick that you can use when you find yourself mesmerized by his perfection. Imagine him sitting in his bachelor pad, surrounded by empty pizza boxes and stacks of unopened mail, wearing this ratty t-shirt with boxers and playing video games. He doesn't look so cool now, right? He just looks like an ordinary dude because he is an ordinary dude. And the better you get to know him, the more he will probably annoy you. So treat him like you would treat any guy friend. Tease him, poke fun at him. Don't take him seriously, because that humor will break down the awkwardness and strike up an instant connection. Okay, next, when you like a guy too much, what else do you do? Well, you feel embarrassed at how you feel. And so you try to hide it, right? You play it cool, but underneath you're burning up with desire for this guy. Now, a woman who's just being friendly and polite will actually find it easier to connect with him, while you're like sitting off in the corner pretending you're not obsessively watching his every move. Okay, so here is a trick that can help. Imagine that your best friend has already claimed dibs on this guy. So she said she liked him well before you realized you even liked him. You've got to respect her claim, right? And so your job is to be nice to him without pushing for anything else. So be friendly and talk to him and enjoy his company. Just don't assume that it's ever going to go anywhere. You want to be content with what you have, which is this friendly connection that will not turn romantic unless he makes a move on you. Finally, one of the things that we always do when we like someone too much is we complicate things. We don't sit back and see where things go. We're not content with a connection that evolves naturally. We want to push things. So maybe we go online and we search for text to send to make him obsessed with us. And we feel this sense of urgency because we've got to lock him down before another girl does. Sometimes that means that we stop seeing him as a human being and we start seeing him as this goal to achieve. That's a huge relationship killer. Because when you stop seeing a man as a human being with his own life and his own plans and his own mind, and you make him into your goal, then you destroy your chances of creating this healthy, beautiful relationship together. Now, sure, your tactics may get him in the end, but you will lose him again just as fast because no guy likes it when a woman sets her sights on him. It feels to him as if she wants to use him. Because if she really liked him just for who he was, she would be happy for him no matter what. Instead, it feels to him that she's only nice in order to get what she wants, which is him. So let him go. He's not yours, and he never will be. Because even if you end up together, he will always be his own person with his own destiny. So it's up to you to be happy and to make a life for yourself regardless of whether he's in it. Now, ironically, it's when we stay focused on making ourselves happy that we end up attracting guys who want to make us even happier. That's one of the ideas behind my book, The Pleasure Principle. It teaches you how to create your own personal roadmap to pleasure by embracing your inner bad girl. You can find out all about it in the link below. I'll make sure to put it down there, and I will see you next time.